You're listening to WEEU Radio, broadcasting at 830 on the AM dial from Reading, Pennsylvania. I'm Jingle Schnutz, the WEEU Holiday Festival of Sound Elf. Have a great time with you during this holiday season. And now, more of our Holiday Festival of Sound.
With Berks County's own Ringgold Band in the background, we continue celebrating WEEU's Holiday Festival of Sound, a celebration of our friends, our neighbors, our co-workers, people in and around Berks County who enrich each and every life they come in contact with through the power of music. This is WEEU's Dave Kline. It's my great pleasure now to introduce to you a band that will take us back and allow us to reminisce about the great pop classics that were introduced into the Christmas music genre during the late 50s and early 60s. This band performs in and around Berks County, and they're popular no matter where it is they're performing. From their Merry Christmas compact disc, this is the fabulous Hubcaps from their Sleigh Full of Hits compact disc, performing a Chuck Berry classic called Run Run Rudolph.
Too far behind. Run, run, Rudolph, Santa's gotta make it to town. Santa make him hurry, tell him he can take the freeway down. Run, run, Rudolph, 'cause I really like a merry-go-round. Said Santa to a boy, child, what have you been longing for? All I want for Christmas is a rock and roll electric guitar. And then away went Rudolph, whizzing like a shooting star. Run, run, Rudolph, Santa has to make it down. Santa make him hurry, tell him he can take the freeway down. Run, run, Rudolph, really like a merry-go-round. Run, run, Rudolph, Santa's gotta make it to town. Santa make him hurry, tell him he can take the freeway down. Run, run, Rudolph, 'cause I really like a merry-go-round. Said Santa to a girl child, what would please you most to get? A little baby doll that can cry, sleep, drink, and wet. And then away went Rudolph, whizzing like a saber jet.
Now, if ever there was a Christmas classic, one song that defines the season, many people would tell you they think the song would be one that Nat King Cole immortalized, and many of the other crooners took a whack at it as well, the Christmas song. And here it is, the old chestnuts roasting on an open fire. What we're going to do during the next 30 minutes or so is hear an assemblage of amazingly talented Berks County artists and musicians, featuring holiday music for you on WEU's Holiday Festival Sound. Right now, this is David Cullen, Berks County's only ever Grammy Award winner, with his guitar from his Holiday Guitar Compact Disc. This is the Christmas song, and then after this, we'll hear from Butch Imhoff telling us all about how Santa Claus is coming to town, and then on we'll go with other local artists.
you. Better watch out, you better not cry, you better not pout, I'm telling you why. Santa Claus is coming to town. He's making a list, checking it twice. We're gonna find out who's naughty or nice. Santa Claus is coming to town. He sees you when you're sleeping. He knows when you're awake. He knows if you've been bad or good, so be good for goodness sake. Oh, you better watch out, you better not cry, you better not pout, I'm telling you why. Santa Claus is coming to town. Santa Claus is coming to town. Yeah, Santa Claus is coming to town. He sees you when you're sleeping. He knows when you're awake. He knows if you've been bad or good, so be good for goodness sake. Oh, you better watch out, you better not cry, you better not pout, I'm telling you why. Santa Claus is coming to town. Yeah, Santa Claus is coming to town.
That's Berks County's own Butch Imhoff with his rendition of Santa Claus is Coming to Town here on WEEU's Holiday Festival of Sound. Next up, another Berks County resident, Deanna Rueben, has released an absolutely gorgeous Christmas project. It's called Christmas Is Here. We're going to hear one by her now called Winter Weather and Let It Snow.
I love the winter weather, so the two of us can get together. There's nothing sweeter, finer, when it's nice and cold. I can hold my baby closer to me and collect the kisses that are due me. I love the winter weather, 'cause I've got my love to keep me warm. I love the winter weather, so the two of us can get together. There's nothing sweeter, finer, when it's nice and cold. I can hold my baby closer to me and collect the kisses that are due me. I love the winter weather, and I've got my love to keep me warm. 'Cause the weather outside is frightful, but the fire is so delightful. And since we've no place to go, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. It doesn't show signs of stopping, and I brought some corn for popping. The lights are turned way down low. Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. When we finally kiss goodnight, how I hate going out in the storm. But if you really hold me tight, all the way home I'll be warm. The fire is slowly dying, and my dear, we're still goodbying. But as long as you love me so, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. slowly dying, and my dear, we're still goodbying. But as long as you love me so, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow.
Hey, Berks County's own Deanna Rueben, smooth as silk right there on that one from her compact disc, Christmas is Here. Next up, we're going to hear some remarkable singing recorded live with the Reading Choral Society from their Celebration of Light, a concert that was put on back on December 11, 2011 at the Emmanuel Lutheran Church of Pottstown. There is an incredible wealth of talent here in Berks County, Pennsylvania. That was the Reading Choral Society recorded live, the second of two selections that we just presented to you here on our WEEU's Holiday Festival of Sound. It was called Behold the Great Creator, and it was recorded in Pottstown, Pennsylvania, back in 2011 as part of their presentation at the Emmanuel Lutheran Church. And you don't have to travel far. That's the beauty of being a Berks Countyan, to find world-class music and excellence in the performing arts. And that is going to be evidenced again as we reach into our library of cultural diversity with our friends from the Reading Liederkranz Singers and the folks who've been assembling at St. John's Church for the annual German-speaking celebration of Christmas. However, this has been recorded live. This one goes back to 2012, and this has been broadcast live on WEEU for decades. It's one of those traditions that we are so honored here at WEEU and Reading Eagle Company to present to you. My name's Dave Kline. I'm the producer, editor, and host along with my other colleagues, of this joyous celebration of community talent known as the WEEU Holiday Festival of Sound. So now let's listen in to a live recording from St. John's German Church Service, downtown Reading, Pennsylvania. Absolutely gorgeous. The Reading Liederkranz singers at the German service at St. John's in downtown Reading, Pennsylvania, an annual tradition for decades here broadcast live on WEEU radio. That recording was from 2012. Now, a brand new tradition that started in 2013 is the Centro Hispano Community Christmas Carol and Sing-Along. It was held in 2013 at the Crown Plaza Hotel in Wyomissing, and we had folks there, including the Reading Liederkranz singers. We had folks from local high schools. You're going to hear me talk more about it as I invited some of my colleagues up. They didn't know they were going to be invited up to sing along with an old holiday classic called Dominic the Donkey. So, yours truly, Eastside Dave Kline, recorded live at the Centro Hispano first ever multicultural community Christmas sing-along. And what a great thing it is to gather all those folks from so many different cultures together in song and music during the holiday season. I hope you enjoy this.
Hola!
Thanks for being here. I want to tell you that, Tammy, I have for the past 4 weeks had something similar to what you have there. And I've come to the conclusion, watching you, this soreness of the throat, this hoarseness, this wearing out of the body in that area right there. That is something that probably goes hand in hand with being a person who walks among those of us in the community who are asking for support and goodwill, and those of us who work in sales. It's at this time of year we kind of wear out. So I'm feeling better now, and you will soon too. Folks, I'd like to tell you that my father's side of the family came over here from Germany a long time ago, back in the late 1600s through Philadelphia. My mother's side of the family, though, came from Sicily in the 1800s. They came in here as immigrants to make a new life in America, and that they did. And so we're going to celebrate a little bit of the culture that my mother brought to the table every holiday season as we partner together with Centro Hispano and all of you and Michael Toledo and the great board of Centro Hispano to be aggregators of culture here in the community this holiday season. What a wonderful thing that is. Our friends from Reading Liederkranz and the high school over there, great to have you all here. So in order to do that, I will say that, my father's German side of the family, no disrespect to my friends over there, yeah? Okay? They were the serious side of the family. They were very serious. Very frugal, very serious. My mother's side of the family followed the French joie de vivre. The joy of life. Everything's great. Let's eat. Let's dance. Let's make music together. So with that in mind, I'm going to call up my colleagues from Reading Eagle Company because I work day to day at Reading Eagle Company, and I'm proud to do so. So let me call up now our Chief Executive Officer President, Peter Barbie. They're going to join me here in an impromptu chorus, and they haven't rehearsed. And by the way, you're all going to join too. Oh no, they haven't rehearsed. Chief Fritz, I'm putting them on the spot. All right, Rich Ullman, Ann Chubb, our Chief Financial Officer. He's a Greek, Sean Maliatu. Bill Law, he's just a happy guy. I don't know what his nationality is. Luis Fernandez, you can guess that one. And Connie Andrews. And also over here, I'm very proud to say that working with us at Reading Eagle Company is the local chapter president of the NAACP, Mr. Bill Thompson. So we're going to sing Dominic the Donkey. Has anybody here never heard this song? Raise your hand if you've never heard it. Oh, so there's no excuse for making it. You never heard it. Okay, then I get to teach really quickly because time is ticking here. Michael promised you'd be back by 9 o'clock in your office. So on the Italiano side, Sicilian especially, they live it up, like I said. So it's a singing thing. So your part in this is going to be, I'm going to say, hey, chinkity chink, and you're going to go, hee-haw, hee-haw. Just pretend you're gathered around somebody's living room here. Have a little eggnog and kicking back with that, all right? And then I'm going to go, it's Dominic the Donkey, chinkity chink, the Italian Christmas donkey, and then we all go, la la la, la 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 la, la la la, la 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 la. That's the Sicilian bounce is what I call that. Ready? We're going to start right in with that, as loud as you can because I think they're videotaping it. Hey, chickadee chink. It's Dominic the Donkey. Chickadee chink. The Italian Christmas donkey. Everybody. La la la. La 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 la. La la la. La 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 la. Now here's the story. Santa's got a little friend. His name is Dominic. The cutest little donkey. You never see him kick. When Santa visits his paisans with Dominic, he'll be, because the reindeer cannot climb the hills of Italy. Hey, chickadee chink, it's Dominic the donkey, chickadee chink, the Italian Christmas donkey. La la la, la 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 la, la la la, la 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 la. That's very good, even louder next time. By the way, there's Harry Deep, the editor of the Reading Eagle, standing over there, pretending like he's working so he doesn't have to come up and stand here. Jingle the bells around the street, presents on the sleigh. Hey, the mayor's early on the top of Dominic's head. A pair of shoes of Gorney and a Josephine. The label on the inside says it's made in Brooklyn. Hey, chickadee chickadee, it's Dominic the donkey, chickadee chickadee, the Italian Christmas donkey. La la la, la 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 la, la la la, la 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 la. One more time, nice and loud, the very last one.
Children sing and clap their hands, and Dominic starts to dance. They talk Italian to him, and he even understands. Comares and compadres, they dance a tarantelle. When Santa Nicola come to town, they bring la cucurella. Hey, chickadee chink, it's Dominic the donkey. Chickadee chink, the Italian Christmas donkey. La la la, la 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 la, la la la, la 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 la. Hey! Good job, all you. Merry Christmas, go to the town. Feliz Navidad.
You can find that video online at Dominic the Donkey and then Dave Kline, Kline. We had a great time. Centro Hispano, one of the great organizations in and around Berks County, benefiting our community and beyond, and also supported by the United Way chapter of Berks County. Everybody was there. We had a wonderful time at that Christmas party, and I, for one, vote for more community Christmas parties to celebrate joy, harmony, and peace, especially during the holiday season.
Reading Musical Foundation is Berks County's strongest advocate for music in our schools, and you can make it stronger. I'm Randy Shaler, CEO of Zezwitz Music. Zezwitz is proud to support Reading Musical Foundation's Operation Replay. RMF gathers musical instruments from donors like you around Berks County and turns them into new musical opportunities for young musicians who otherwise couldn't afford to play music. Join me and hundreds of others who invest in the future of music in Berks County with RMF, Reading Musical Foundation, for the love of music.
It would be hard to have any conversation about the influence pop culture has had on our Christmas traditions without mentioning the beloved A Charlie Brown Christmas television special. Now in the background, you hear Berks County's own Karl Hausman, who has entertained people around the world with his amazing gift and talent at the keyboard. Performing for you, Charlie Brown's theme song from A Charlie Brown Christmas. Next up on our WEEU Holiday Festival of Sound, we're going to switch from the pop or secular music to sacred music and sounds of the season. Sounds of praise from our own local performer, Brian Gibson. Brian has performed at great opera theaters throughout the world, got his start in performances at places like Genesius Theater right here in Reading. This is Brian Gibson, world-renowned, performing for you now a number entitled, I Call His Name.
call his name, he answers to me. I call his name, his love runs through me, and I know that he is always there in answer to my prayer. Each time I call his name, I call his name, he stands beside me. I call his name, he's here to guide me, and I know I'm in his care beyond compare, each time in prayer. I call his name, he gives me love, his love is all around, his love is deep, profound, for he is always caring. I don't despair, for he is always there, and I am in his care. Each time I call his name in prayer, I call his name, his love surrounds me. There are no fears that can confound me, for I know I'm in his care beyond compare, each time in prayer. I call his name, I call his name, his name.
Next up is the Reading Choral Society with their great performance of a song called Glory to God.
Glory to God, glory to God.
From Handel's Messiah, that was Glory to God, as performed by our own Reading Choral Society. Hi, this is Dave Kline, and I hope you're enjoying WEEU's Holiday Festival of Sound, brought to you by the Reading Musical Foundation. I'm proud to say that for the past 30 years, I've enjoyed volunteering with the RMF to further its mission of enriching our community through music. Our family has contributed to the RMF to help provide lessons for dozens of guitar and banjo students. If making our community better through music and education appeals to you, please consider doing what so many others have done. Give to the Reading Musical Foundation. It's a gift that gives back in countless ways. And Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
You're listening to WEEU's Holiday Festival of Sound here on this Christmas time edition of The Voice, 8:30 a.m. WEEU. I'm Mike Keller.
I'm Matt Gorney, and I got to know, Mike, what is your favorite Christmas tradition?
I like to go over to my grandmother's. We go to my grandma's on Christmas Eve. We all hang out, open presents, eat lots of food, and now since the grandkids now have kids, there's lots of great grandkids running around at my grandmother's.
Wow, 4 generations of Kellers under one roof.
Yes, and Shirks. Kellers and Shirks.
That must be a really funny experience, because you're a pretty funny guy.
Well, I don't know about that. What do you like to do around Christmas?
Well, you know, I've got 2 boys, and we love it when Santa comes, because Santa brings lots of great presents, and usually on Christmas Eve, we'll see my parents and my sister and her new family, and it's a great time. I love Christmas. My favorite time of the year.
We like to, one thing your kids always ask for, what do your kids want for Christmas this year?
Legos, Batman, cars.
My daughter wants a princess. We're all Disneyed up.
That could be happening.
The Holiday Festival of Sound here on The Voice, 8:30 a.m. WEEU.
Many years ago, before the rabbi moved to Israel to follow her life's work and mission in that country, I had the pleasure of sitting down with Rabbi Minna Bromberg at the Peanut Bar in Reading, Pennsylvania. That, of course, an iconic and historic place in Reading. Great to sit with her and break bread and have a good time. And we chatted about her culture, Jewish faith, Jewish religion, and their beliefs during Hanukkah and this holiday season. And so now let us just chat with Rabbi Minna Bromberg and understand what a rabbi is.
Well, a rabbi is really a teacher. As opposed to serving in a priestly ritual function, a rabbi is really meant to lead through teaching. And certainly for me, one of the main ways that I love to lead through teaching is with song, and really using song to bring people together. And certainly song, one of its many advantages is that it can definitely work its way in and touch the heart even when we don't understand the words. And so you're going to get to hear a couple of Hanukkah songs. I wanted to do some Israeli Hanukkah songs for you. So since they're Israeli, they'll be in Hebrew. But you'll get to hear them and see whether they don't touch the heart, even if you don't exactly understand every single word.
Well, the holiday season does present us with so many interesting cultural aspects. You know, going strictly from what those in the Christian world believe, the Bible and the birth of Jesus Christ, in the Middle East, you know, and at the same time we have this wonderful and rich Jewish culture that's still alive and vibrant. And I'd like to have you share now in song some of the joy that you shared during Hanukkah. But first you have to explain to us, again, what is Hanukkah? I mean, Christians, you know, we're still singing things about the baby Jesus, and we're singing other, you know, goofy fun songs like Frosty the Snowman. And I mean, is there such a thing as a Frosty the Snowman in Israel?
Well, it doesn't snow very frequently in Israel, but they do in Israel for Hanukkah have wonderful, wonderful parades of light. And they bring torches all the way through the entire country to Jerusalem. And when I lived in Israel when I was in high school, we actually got to have a huge torch parade for our Hanukkah celebration. That was definitely memorable for me as a teenager. And that's because one of the real central themes of Hanukkah is light and the miracle of light. So the basic story of Hanukkah is that in the time of the the Syrian Greeks. So even before the Romans were active in that part of the world, the Syrian Greeks were ruling over what was then the land of Judea, and they wanted to limit the Jewish folks' ability to observe their religion in the way that was meaningful to them. And so they actually came into the temple in Jerusalem, and they messed it all up. And they put up Greek idols in places where people had been engaging in Jewish worship. And when the Maccabees, who are the heroes of the Hanukkah story, were finally triumphant in pushing back the Syrian Greeks, the folks who were in charge of the temple came back to the temple to see what they could salvage and to clean up. And they discovered, to their dismay, that there was only one tiny little bit of the very special pure olive oil that they used to keep the lamps burning, the sacred lights burning. There was only one tiny little bit of it left. And so the miracle of Hanukkah is that one tiny little bit that would usually have only been enough for one day lasted for 8 days. And so we now celebrate an 8-day festival of lights to commemorate that miracle of the light that lasted for 8 days, even when it was only expected to last for one.
That's absolutely interesting, fascinating. Thanks for sharing your culture with us. Now, how about sharing a little bit in song? Describe a song to us and tell us what we can expect to hear now.
So the two songs that I'm going to do are both about light. The first one, as you'll hear, is a very simple and sweet song called Ner Li, which just means my candle. And it's just about the beauty of the candle burning. And you'll hear it's a sweet children's song about lighting the candle and getting to watch it burn. And then the second song that you'll hear is probably my favorite Hanukkah song. And it's a more modern song than Ner Li. And it is called Banu Choshech Ligaresh, which is a mouthful for anyone. And it means we have come to banish the darkness. And it is all about how light chases away darkness. And it says that each of us comes with just a tiny light, but together we can create one that burns hugely and brightly. And so certainly when we celebrate Hanukkah, we also are celebrating all of the things that light can be metaphorically. And so if you imagine, even as you have in lots of traditions, this idea that we have a light within us as well that burns, and that when we come together, we can truly make a wonderful bright light that can chase away any darkness. And so my favorite Hanukkah song is the second one that you'll hear, which is called Banu Choshech Ligaresh, we have come to banish darkness.
And just to clarify, will you be singing these in Yiddish?
These are both modern Israeli songs, so they're in Hebrew. Now, there are wonderful, wonderful Hanukkah songs in Yiddish as well that come from the Eastern European tradition of Jews, and Jews have taken music with them everywhere in the world and sung in whichever languages were sung in those lands. And now in the modern state of Israel, we've been blessed to really have a revival over the last 60 years of Hebrew song. And so these are actually both in Hebrew, the language of the Hebrew Bible, revived for today.
All right, so let us now treat our ears to Rabbi Minna Bromberg. She's going to sing and play her acoustic guitar, and I know you're going to enjoy this, so let's listen to it.
החושך לגרש, בידינו אור ואש, כל אחד אור קטן, וכולנו אור איתן, סור החושך חלשו, סורה מפני האור, סור החושך חלשו, סורה מפני האור, בנו חושך לגרש, בידינו אור ואש, כל אחד הוא אור קטן, וכולנו אור איתן, סורה חושך חלשו, סורה מפני האור, סורה חושך חלשו, סורה מפני האור, סורה חושך חלשו, סורה מפני האור, סורה חושך חלשו, סורה מפני האור.
Now, one thing before we go here that you told me is a tradition that's still carried on in some places, I think mostly Israel, I don't know so much around Berks County, is the tradition of placing the menorah in the doorway. Just tell us a little bit about that.
So it's very important. It's really a central part of the tradition of lighting a menorah, which is the Hanukkah candelabra that we light, placing it in a place where everyone can see it. And so in Israel and also in our ancient tradition, the menorah was placed in the doorway, so literally on the outside of the door, kind of hanging on the outside of the door. And today, in North America and in other parts of the Jewish world, you'll see people putting their Hanukkah menorahs right in the window so that everyone can see it. And this is because of the idea that we want to broadcast the miracle, that we really want to share the miracle of light with everyone around us. And of course, it's a wonderful marker of religious freedom and religious tolerance in this country that we can do that and feel like we can actually share freely with our neighbors without having to worry about that not being safe. So it's also really a miracle of our times that ability to share the miracle is one that we continue to treasure.
You're listening to WEEU Radio's Holiday Festival of Sound with Dave Kline and Rabbi Minna Bromberg. Rabbi, if I can just close out this segment by having you wish everybody who's listening from all faiths some kind of a traditional Hebrew greeting for this appropriate time of year, something about peace and love and light. Tell us what it means in English and then in Hebrew, please.
So the traditional greeting for Hanukkah is Chag Urim Sameach, which means may you have a joyous festival of lights. And I certainly wish everyone a joyous time in this winter season when we have the opportunity to share the various ways that our different cultures really try to light up the darkness with one another and for one another.
Rabbi Minna Bromberg, shalom. Thank you.
Shalom to you. Thank you so much.
Here's a beautiful song done up in the hammered dulcimer and traditional Appalachian style of music. This piece, Go Tell It on the Mountain, comes to us from the African-American culture. And a couple years back, I had a chance to sit down during the holiday season and speak with Mr. Ed Choral from Acor down at the Goggle Works. And Ed shared a lot of his feelings about Kwanza and the celebration of the harvest and what it means to African Americans around the world and what it should mean to all Americans and, frankly, everybody. A time of joy, a time of great celebration, a time indeed to go tell it on the mountain. And so what we're going to have next on our WEEU Holiday Festival of Sound is a wonderful medley of traditional and contemporary Kwanza music. And what you're going to hear is that, not unlike all of the other celebratory music used during this time of year, the music of Kwanza is very lively, it's very upbeat. In fact, you may even want to get up and dance around a little bit to it because it's got some greatly spirited lyrics and some highly moving rhythms that go along with it. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, on our WEEU Holiday Festival of Sound, we present to you some of the sounds of the Kwanza season just for you.
We'll have a happy Kwanza, a joyful time, a heartfelt celebration. The blessings of this Kwanza are yours and mine. There's an open invitation to be close to the ones we love, to remind ourselves we're made of. Come along, come one and all, be a special part of the festival. We'll have a happy Kwanza, a joyful time, a heartfelt celebration. The blessings of this Kwanza are yours and mine. There's an open invitation. Umoja, kujichagulia, kujima, kutamba, nia, kuumba, imani, Kwanza. We'll have a happy Kwanza, a joyful time, a heartfelt celebration. The blessings of this Kwanza are yours and mine. There's an open invitation to be close to the ones we